want to introduce Sage and Greg, the tag team, if you haven't already met them. Sage has been here many times before. He's frequently requested presenter. He will, I took my nap today, so I'm ready for tonight.
Perfect!
Yes.
Nice! You have to take a nap to have, like, to be subjected to me.
Because his energy level is nice and good. Anyway, we only have a few more programs for the entrepreneurship series this spring. So check them out. Next week we have our distinguished speaker. We're bringing in somebody from Babson College, which is the entrepreneurship school in the country, up in Boston, and we're bringing in Lakshmi Balachandra. She's going to be talking about pitching and what investors want to hear when you are doing a pitch for them. And she teaches at Babson, at MIT, and at Harvard Business School. So she's got some lofty credentials, and you can come and hear her speak for free. So that is next week on the 28th. You can register for it. And without any further ado, we've got lots to talk about. Google Analytics.
And big data.
We use them. We use it here. So
do we?
Our life.
It happens?
Yes, it is. So big data.
I love it. All right. Take it from here.
Okay, take it
Hey,
from here.
everybody. How the heck are you all? It is great to be here. Which part? The yelling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty low-key.
I know. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I kind of yell more on our show. I'm Sage, this is Greg. We are the tools. The tools. Yes. And we have a show every Thursday at 3:15 Eastern Time. Online. You don't have to go anywhere. You just come over here to tools.tv, except this week, because we're in New York City. We have to go. We're not, we almost never miss, but I don't think we're doing it this week because we can't. But otherwise, every Thursday, 3:15. Has anybody else seen it? Have you seen it? You saw it. You've seen it. Unbelievable. That's two. CC Ware, you must have seen it once, right? There you go. Awesome. Awesome. So there you go. I think all four people that have ever seen it are here in this room. So that's great.
Is it a podcast or what?
It is a live video cast. So,
Entertainment show.
thank you. Thank you. We try to be mildly entertaining and
Educational.
try to be educational. Both.
Usually you get one of the two.
Yeah, one or the two happens. Rare. Yeah, I think like if we could be like the Bill and Ted or Click and Clack of web marketing, that would be pretty awesome for us. That's kind of my personal goal. So we are talking about big data and Google Analytics. And I'm very excited for the first part of our presentation because Greg is going to talk about big data, and I don't really know what that means. So that's good. What's that?
NSA type stuff?
Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, I guess it could mean that, right? It could mean like, yeah, the NSA just globbing all of our data into like some sort of repository out in the middle of the desert. I hear they're building some sort of empire where they're just downloading all our stuff. That's big data. What else? Anybody else have an idea what big data is? Google and big data, right? Facebook is big data, the amount of information Facebook knows about you, the things that people know about us, not just the NSA. So, are we going to talk about that kind of stuff? Okay, I can't wait. So, and then we're going to talk about Google Analytics. There's so much to talk about in this. So, you as a purveyor of the content, if you are a marketer, this is awesome for you. If you're an end user, it's pretty awesome for you too, because whether you know it or not, but you're getting better messaging, you know, like, which is good, yes, right? I mean, it's better, if you're going to have commercials, it would be better to have a commercial that was like appropriate. So that's done by following you all around the web and very honest. So Greg said, hey, we should ask them what they were hoping to get out of this session. So did any of you come with any hopes and dreams for this? Yeah, man.
Say, I've got a small business and I've used PCnet for years, but as far as the internet is concerned, I'm really just an end user.
Okay.
And I heard a lot of terms in that, and I accidentally signed up for a Google AdWords account.
Accidentally?
Well, I mean, I signed up for it not knowing what to expect in terms of billing.
Oh no.
And
Did they get you?
yeah.
Bastards.
So,
Okay, that sucks. Sorry. So, yeah, so what kind of business do you have?
it's a real estate business.
Like, commercial or?
This is in residential, so they're specialized in lease options, which is just a niche.
Like buy to lease or rent to lease to own?
Yeah.
Something like that? Awesome. Okay, cool. And so you might like to know how you could potentially use this a little bit better.
Rather than just kind of a mainstream brokerage, this would be an area where there's a real mismatch in the market. Now a lot of buyers who can't qualify based on federal regulations. We've got a small inventory.
Yeah.
So some of these people would have normally qualified in years past, and now we don't.
Yes.
So if we get their prices go up, that could happen.
Sweet. So you're kind of trying to tell that story through marketing and that sort of thing. And you have a website?
It's supposed to be going live within the next probably 2 weeks.
Exciting. Good.
But it's going to be for the most part kind of extensive driven, which I know is not really a whole lot of work for you guys.
Fine. Fine. As long as it's a nice template, I'm all about it. So we're going to be talking about Google Analytics, and that might, like, when you get your website, the beauty of online marketing is that it is actionable. You can do something and go to your website statistics and learn what happened in the past. Sometimes you can learn live. Watch people moving through your website and make actionable choices based on what you've learned there. So hopefully this will help you when you get your website.
Say, what happened to me is I signed up, I guess I'm in the Express version.
Yeah.
And it's just that, it was interesting to see how many people visited.
Yeah.
But when I asked about, like, how many are in this local area,
Yeah.
the guy said, well, you have to go to a regular account.
To know that? Yeah. That
Page enough.
Express account is a little shady. I mean, can it work, Express?
Yeah, because the lack of control that you have and the lack of data that they give you about how your stuff actually works and who it's working for is very
Yeah, somebody over in China, never going to do business with a distributor.
Yeah. It's a very complicated product, and they know it. It's not like buying an ad in the Akron Beacon Journal. You know, that was the life. You just called up that salesperson and said, "Hey, I see that you have a business section on Thursdays. Can I just get in that?" And they're like, "Of course you can just get in that." And then you put your ad in there, and you're happy. Everybody's happy. It works, doesn't work, whatever. But now you're in a global marketplace. You could be spending thousands and thousands of dollars if you're not careful, marketing to people in China looking for lease options and residential real estate. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And you have to run it all yourself. You know? Yeah.
I have a starch.
Right.
And
What kind?
it's a cosmetic gel for cosmetic gel that will maintain a temperature for 200.
Oh my Lord, that's so cool. A temperature-regulated cosmetic bag. Did you invent this? What? That's amazing. You are an inventor.
Yeah.
Jeez, does it do it organically? Do you have to use batteries? Do you have to power it?
No, it's no battery.
Just-
no, yeah. And right now it's at proof of concept.
Nice.
And I'm doing my homework, or I know it's already new product.
Yeah.
So I have worked on a Facebook got the, GoDaddy, and they will domain name. It's really, SageRock.
Are you? Good for you.
It's really, I'm marketer.
Oh, you're a marketer by trade. Oh, that's good.
I mean, it's big business, but it's not small business. There's so
It's because you have more freedom in a small business, which can be paralyzing. You can tell your personal story in a small business where you can't tell anybody's story. And so, like, we went to work with big companies and small companies. I would work with a small company every day of the week because of the freedom. You can go out of here today and be like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to start a blog. I'm going to do a blog about myself. I'm going to do a blog about my dog. And nobody's going to tell you no. That's amazing.
It is, but like, going back to the word paralyzed.
Yeah, there's too many options.
Yeah.
In big business, you have one option. You just do what everybody else did, and you do that, and there you go. You're gone. I marketed. You know. So yeah, I know. Both stink. I mean, both have strengths and weaknesses. So, do you have any goals for tonight?
Well, I want to understand, what access better.
Good.
I know statistics, I love statistics.
Yes.
But I need to know Facebook, they all scare me.
Yes. It's all terrifying. It's okay. We're all scared of it. All right. Well, it's a huge topic. These are awesome, but I think you're going to get a lot out of this. Like, you'll be able to go away from here being like, oh, I understand how that works and how maybe I could use that to my benefit down the road. So that's all. Anybody else have any life dreams? Yes.
I got an email saying that Google is going to be looking at their websites to see if they're mobile friendly.
Yes, until I can mobile again.
And I made my website years ago on iWeb. And I see a lot of my customers use their cell phones and they Google up all my stuff. But I just wonder, what can I do to change it? Because Google's going to be looking to see if that even shows up on their cell phone. Something I can do to change my iWeb. Because they don't do any updates on iWeb anymore.
What's today's date? 20th?
Yeah,
Tomorrow! Tomorrow's the day! We should celebrate!
that's why I was asking you.
Yeah! They're kicking all of us off that are mobile friendly.
But if we can still see this up on their cell phones, why they do anything? If I can still see it on here?
Okay, so back up a little bit. So Google a couple months ago announced that they are going to remove all websites from mobile search results that are not mobile friendly. So meaning you go to Google on your phone and you type in, do you think it's their name?
I heard that they're going to leave the name.
So your company name, you're still cool. Probably. We don't know for sure because it's going to be rolling out, I think, in the next week. But the gist is that if you're not mobile friendly, you are not getting any mobile traffic. Now the secret is that they have been ratcheting this down slowly but surely since about 2013. That if you're not a mobile friendly website, you are not getting nearly the amount of mobile traffic that you should be. Which part? All of it? The whole thing? Of course! It's insanity! Yes, ma'am.
So they're going to slow it down or just totally wipe you off?
You're gone.
Because I looked at a website like Smith & Wesson.
Yeah.
Huge company.
Yeah.
They're not mobile friendly.
No. It's true, man.
So they're not going to come up on...
In Google on mobile device.
Right.
Describe mobile. Is that just phone? Is it tablets? What is it? They watch? Is it? I mean, everything and anything could be in a sense mobile. So, what does mobile mean in that definition?
So usually the term mobile, like you said, is convoluted, right? Because it can mean a lot of stuff. I can pick my computer up and walk across the room and it's mobile. But so now it mostly has to do with the device's screen size. Okay, and so like a lot of times, like it used to be like there's like set number of characters that would show up. Like if you do a Google search and you see like the title of a web page, that used to be like a set number of characters. And actually, technically, it's not anymore. Now it's a set number of pixels. And so they've made these changes over the past few years just because in 2014 was the first time mobile traffic, being like traffic on devices with smaller screens, overtook desktop traffic. And so they have a big focus on that. So when they're talking about it, Google has been lumping in for the past year, they've been lumping desktops and tablets together. Before that, they were lumping tablets and phones together. And I'm kind of curious if they're going to go back to that, strictly because the size of the devices, like phones, are getting just gigantic now, you know? And so I wouldn't be surprised if they flip right back to the other, but it always has to do with the resolution.
There you go, that next year we'll have an iWatch.
Oh, yeah. Greg and I have a theory, and this is just our theory. We haven't heard anybody confirm this, but our theory is that they're going to test these results in mobile, and if they give good enough results, they will move it to everything.
Sure.
Because no one anymore is using a single device. You may go to your your laptop and look here and if you sign up for our newsletter, you go to the tools.tv and sign up for our newsletter, you might do that on your desktop, but then you're going to get an email and it's going to be on your phone. And so you're moving from device to device, and Google knows that. And so if a website that they gave you on your desktop is going to stink on mobile, then they know the whole experience is bad. So it's very likely that sites that are not mobile friendly are just going to slowly disappear altogether.
That's what I'm saying. So if I go onto my cell phone and I can look at my website and I can see on there,
Yeah.
It should still be okay.
The best thing to do, the easiest thing to do, is to go to Google on your phone and not Google don't put in your whole domain, just put in your company name. So it should come up in a search result. Like,
Will you try mine?
yeah. I gotta do it on my phone.
All right.
Because I'm gonna find out. Okay. What do you got?
The company name, right?
Yep.
Caves by Karen.
What is it?
CAPESBY and then KARIN.com.
Okay, so this is pretty cool. Okay, so if you do this, so you will see here, this is your listing.
Right.
And what I'm going to tell you is yours is not mobile friendly because it doesn't say mobile friendly. Yeah, so watch.
Okay.
So let me do another one. You guys can play along at home. Just type in, it won't be deleted.
Your website will still be there. Google just won't show it to results.
In its search results. See how mine says mobile friendly? If you type in SageRock on your phone and it says mobile friendly, see? That's how you know. Okay? That's how you know. Yeah. I'd say, can you speak to what the market share of Google is? I mean, is it getting eaten into significantly? DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, Bing. It's not. It's. Does it say mobile friendly? Yeah. Yeah, it does show it, but what I'm saying here is if you look at mine, you see right under my name where it says mobile friendly?
What's yours?
SageRock. Do you see how it says mobile friendly? I'm sorry. So my name, mobile friendly, hers doesn't.
Yeah, it does say. So then what is she lost here when you?
Well,
I mean, from when, prior, when people would do a search, what would come out instead of this?
so what she will not come up for anymore, very likely, in mobile, just in mobile search, is, like, let's say, what do you do, Hudson cakes?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say in mobile, somebody would search for Hudson cake decorator, Hudson cakes.
Okay, okay.
She will probably not show up for that starting this week.
Okay.
On mobile. Okay. On regular, yes. But Greg says he thinks Cakes by Karen will still show up. Okay. Yeah. So this is a big change that is happening now. And what I can tell you is that if you do not have a website, you're actually in pretty good shape. Because you weren't getting traffic anyway. But the other thing is, if you use a tool like Wix or Squarespace, all those templates are mobile friendly. So you don't have to worry anymore, you know? So in fact, we just did a class on Squarespace that you can watch for free and learn how to do it. Yeah.
What would you suggest for, if you sell merchandise as a template, what is a good?
Like what store?
No, as a template itself.
Do you know what like if you, like what tool?
We use OpenCart.
OpenCart. Okay. So there's a very likely a template, what we call responsive template. Responsive design is what the word we're looking for, meaning that it shrinks and expands based on the size of the screen. And there is probably a responsive template for OpenCart. Okay. We are big fans of, what do you like, Shopify?
Shopify, BigCommerce.
Yeah. Those are e-commerce. Shopify and BigCommerce are good e-commerce ones. But Squarespace has e-commerce too. I just set up a t-shirt shop on this class that I did. That they're selling t-shirts on that. So we are in an era of tremendous change and evolution in our world and in our technology. One of the cool things that is happening is the speed at which our computers are getting faster. So like every 18 months, roughly, processor speed doubles. Every 18 months, okay, it's Moore's law. Meaning that it becomes so difficult to imagine what computers are going to be capable of to do in 5 years, let alone in 10 years. You ask a thinker in the digital space, like Google or any of these, what they think things are going to be like in 10 years, and they can't do it. Because they don't know what computers 5 times the speed of now will be able to do. So it becomes a really crazy, exciting world, but you have to be really chill and go with the flow of this. All right, calm down. Yeah, so sorry. Okay, let's get into some boring things. All right, perfect. Hey, you wanna have this light here? No, I don't. You don't? No. But how do you know? Them in my face. I know, you're good at it. All right.
Okay, if you can't hear me, I will speak into the microphone.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Not as loud as him, but yeah. All right, so I don't think we came up with this topic for today.
No, this is not our idea.
This isn't something here right now. I didn't come up with the topic. But so I thought it was interesting if whoever came up with the topic during this room, or it was just a random idea. I thought it was interesting because usually when we talk about Google Analytics, we're just really talking about, all right, let's open Google Analytics and let's get into your account and see how many people came to your website, blah, 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 blah. What are we going to do with that? And we're going to get into that tonight for sure. But I thought it was interesting that someone had included big data in this. Because big data is a term that I think in our industry we hear more and more about, but like speak to an entrepreneur group about that. I was like, entrepreneurs and big data, like that's just what?
Yeah.
And so Sage opened up by asking like who had ideas about what big data is, and we got some like NSA stuff going on, and secret warehouses of data, and
it really is a term, kind of like mobile, where it can mean a lot of different things, right? But the important thing, I thought it would be cool to kind of just start off with like the textbook. What is big data? So the textbook definition is a collection of large and complex data sets. Yeah, okay, that's great. Boring, snooze fest stuff here. But the thing is that that is relative to you and to who the people are that are collecting the data, how the data is being used, how it's being stored, how much of it is there. And so I thought maybe to kind of give a little perspective on probably where we are in this room, that it might be interesting to kind of take a little history lesson. And so it's okay with you guys. If it's not, we gotta just shut up, dude. Cool. But I thought we could kind of, I'll try to make it breeze through here, but I want to do the history of big data. I'm excited. Okay. I don't know. So, we're gonna go way back. We're going back. Okay. There is a book. It's available at this library. It's called Big Data. It's by a guy named Bernard Marr. It's checked out right now, and there are holds. So if you can put yourself on that list and get the book if you're really interested in like deep dive in big data. Because it really is some interesting stuff. So some of this presentation comes from notes in that book. We're going way back. So, near the end of the Upper Paleolithic era, around 18,000 BC, we recorded data for the first time. And these were on tally sticks, and there's a lot of different variations of what a tally stick is. This is a precursor to the modern day money system. But it was mainly used to, like, you would just take a little chink and make a notch in some wood, right? And it was like, you counted your inventory. You counted like a sale or something like that. And so this was really the first time that people had tried to record, like, data like this. And I think we can all be happy that we moved past this a little bit. I mean, this would be tedious nowadays. 2400 BC, so just in case you're wondering, yeah, we're just going to work our way through time. We got the abacus, but you can also see that we got the first libraries started to be built. And this kind of coincides with about, well, actually the 1800 BC kind of coincides with where archaeologists start to determine like differentiating factors between like our current Homo sapien and primitive ancestors. So primitive ancestors never did any of this stuff, and so it's actually like our behavior changed, like how we started to treat our surroundings, what we were dealing with changed. And you can see just how much, because still 2400 BC, now we're basically doing calculations, and we know that it's important to house things, house this information in libraries. So good job for the Hudson Library. Push it forward. 4,415 years later, here we are, people. I know, right? I'm pretty happy. I'm still alive. Good job, Steve. From 300 BC to about 48 AD, we had the Library of Alexandria. It was the largest data storage center in the world. So you don't usually think about libraries like that, but that's what libraries are, data storage centers. And mostly for the written word. And they've been around for a while, and this was the largest. Unfortunately, the Romans destroyed it, so, whoops. But we pushed forward. And most of the information at this point in time was kept on scrolls, right? So big data meant a lot of scrolls. Jump forward a bit, about 1663, there was the bubonic plague was taking over, and John Grunt did the first known recorded statistical analysis of data. And the idea was to try and say, okay, well, these people have had this plague, and we've known that it's moving in this direction, and how can we let these people know that that this is happening. And so this is like where data becomes actionable, right? Because you're actually literally trying to stop the plague. And he came up with something that's called a life, I don't remember, but it was basically like it tallied your statistical chance of living based upon your age, given the bubonic plague outbreak. So this is the first time anybody ever looked at stats and tried to do something like it. Then we jump forward a little bit to 1865, and they used the term business intelligence for the first time. Business intelligence word that's thrown around a lot. So yay, marketing speak came out, right? That was a historic point in the world. Jump forward to 1926, something that most people don't think about when they think about Tesla, but he was super smart, particularly in the future. He said that he thought we were going to be able to access and analyze large amounts of data from something small enough to fit in your pocket. Wow. So that was in 1926. So there's some predictions for you. 1928, we had our first breakthrough with data storage. This dude, Fritz Blimmer, sorry if I'm mangling your name, but he created a method of storing stuff magnetically. And this carried on for a long, long time. I mean, a long, long time, it was 1928 here, but like, you know, another part of the century here, we stored stuff magnetically. And so he came up with this, and this allowed us to actually store a lot of data more easily. And of course, who's going to jump on that? The government. Yeah. So in 1965, we ended up with the first U.S. data center, and it was for tax returns and fingerprints. And so this was the largest data storage thing to date in 1965. Whoops. 1989 was the first time anybody had ever used the term big data. This guy, Eric Larson, got books upstairs. I read The Devil in the White City. It was really good. I haven't read his new one, but I might. It's called The Loose Canyon. But long before actually he started writing books, he was interviewed in a magazine and he turned big data. And he thought that it was going to be used by advertisers. So, what a surprise. Yeah, right? This will never happen, right? 1991, of course, you'll all remember the internet. So that was good. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to make this presentation without the internet. And that is when stuff really started to move fast. Okay? So, as you can see, things are ramping up here. Like, information is happening. We've got storage centers. We've got ways of doing this. But the internet is born, and stuff takes off. So in 1996, digital storage officially was cheaper than paper. 1997, we got Google. Digital storage increased by tenfold every single year. By 2005, we had open source big data frameworks that people could have. Web 2.0 came out. These are all things I'm sure you're familiar with. Social networking started taking off. In 2010, Google's Eric Schmidt said that as much data is now being created every 2 days as was created from the beginning of human civilization to the year 2003. Yeah, really do. And a lot of it's because now people have access to create data. Like, I don't need, like, before the printing press, they're writing everything out by hand and copying books and Bible, you know, page by page, and it takes forever. And now, like, anybody in a small business, any person, people in this room, are contributing to data right now. That hashtag that Sage said, that's like, anybody's in here tweeting or Instagramming or any of that stuff, you're contributing.
It's called microblogging. You're contributing to the entire conversation.
Sage isn't somebody that actually just passive. That is, if you're carrying your phone, somebody actually collecting data, whether or not it's
Oh, yeah, I mean, just me walking from here to there is collecting data. 100%. And they're serving ads. I used Waze GPS to get here. They're serving me ads based on what town I'm driving through. So yeah, you don't even have to do anything. Just existing. You know, I think you're hungry, Sage. It's noon. Get a burger, for God's sake.
That leads us right into this though. So we had questions start coming up. They were before this, but this was like the time where the general populace is starting to get a grasp on all this stuff that's happening with privacy complaints, or safety, security, and what is being collected actively or passively, and how's it being used, and then of course everybody here is familiar with Snowden, so he came out and I was like, oh well, maybe some of this stuff is being used in ways that you didn't know, and by people that you might not think should be doing. Then 2014, as I mentioned earlier, these magical Tesla machines in our pockets take over the desktop. What?
They should call it the Tesla machine.
They should, but yeah, car guys. So here we are, 2015, and Big Brother is real. Big Brother is everywhere, and it is all of us, because we all participate in this. Actively, passively, we contribute by giving data, we contribute by taking away data, we contribute by using all the data that's available, right? So back in the day, they were tracking what was happening, like their inventory. The small business and the entrepreneur, you still have to do that. People putting little notches on pieces of wood, and so you're still doing that, behavior is a big thing. You can track people's behavior. You can build a profile about who a person is. You know how much money you make. You know how much money your target customers make. You know what their interests are. And these are things that you can target with. And so I guess where I was thinking with all this, there's so much data there now, right? Bigger than it's ever been, bigger than it was this morning. And because of that, as a small business or an entrepreneur, I think you need to understand what of that data is important to you, right? You need to know how to reach them. You need to know, like, the one thing I see time and time again when people get into analytics or statistics is they open up Google Analytics, boom, there's visitors, there's bounce rates, page views, and they're like, what do I do with this? Right? I mean, it's just exhausting. And so most people don't do anything with it. And that is stupid. That is just dumb. Because what's the point of having it? What's the point of tracking all this stuff, having all this data if you're not going to use it? Right? And so I thought Sage is really taking on actionable data. So I thought maybe we could kind of roll it from there.
Awesome, man. So I am a firm believer that information wants to be free and privacy is disappearing. Just ask your kids what they think of privacy. Kids, it's not on their radar. Privacy is not a thing. I just watched a video of a woman who was dumping her life into artificial intelligence and a robot head. And she was having a conversation with herself. Now, it's pretty raw, but this thing, if I could believe what it was saying, believed it was real. The guy that invented the Furby, Greg told me, believes they have intelligence, that they are creatures that are learning.
They're alive.
They are alive, he says, the Burton guy. And this is happening. Imagine a day in the future with, and I'm thinking within 15, maybe 20 years, that there is a time when you flip a switch and you have been dumped into an artificial intelligence and they turn on and they think they are you right then and there. And that's how you will live forever. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I heard a gentleman talking about a kid up in Canada who developed for Hollywood the idea of taking films now, and when you walk in the film, it will know what's on your Facebook and all this, and you'll watch the film, and then you'll see it live. It'll say there's a murder happening on the street, and it'll show a Google driving by your house. And it'll literally play a movie based off of your Facebook, based off of You know, and people actually have glasses that will allow them to display their specific
Yes.
analytics.
Yes.
And then watch the screen live to that. Wow.
That's amazing.
That's scary.
The payoff is so significant because you get personalized, you get personalized treats, you know? So you will give up your privacy, you will give your information because the benefit outweighs the negative. Now, you, as a business owner, are on the receiving end of that. That's what we're here to talk about today. Whether or not you like this or don't like this, well, really it's irrelevant altogether, but it doesn't matter. If you're not using it as a business owner, you are behind. You know, if you have some sort of moral problem with this, which I've never met anybody, incidentally. You know, like on one hand, you can talk to a person like, I can't believe they know all this stuff, and then they go right in and they're like, oh, look, that person just bought that, and they did this, and I saw them over on this website, and I'm going to serve ads to them on, you know, ESPN. You know, they don't really care when you can benefit from it. I've never once been like, oh, I've never heard anybody say, well, I'm not going to use this data to my benefit, but you know, maybe there's somebody out there that would do that. But I'm telling you, you can't live like that. Because you are then not using the tools that are available to you. You know, if you are going to install a roof with just a hammer and nails, your price is going to go up. It's going to take you twice as long, 3 times as long as the guy that comes along with an air nail gun. Just pounds that in. You know, he tears off and builds a roof in a day, and it takes you all week. That's what we're talking about here, that you have to use these tools. But they are so massive that you start looking at the tools and you will be like a deer in the headlights. You will just see it and you will be like, what does this mean? So, let's take a look. So now you know which is the smart tool. That was awesome, Greg. Nice, very nice. Loud of your information. So here, I knew I was going to learn a lot. I just came just to hear what Greg was going to say. All right, so let's go down here. So here we are in Google Analytics. Has anyone ever been in Google Analytics before? Oh, good. Yes, of course you have. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Okay, so here we have Google Analytics. Google Analytics is recording data from your website. Now, a little quick history of this was there was once upon a time a statistical analysis tool called Urchin. It cost $500. You buy it $500, and what you would do is you would go to your web host, and they would give you raw data in spreadsheet form, and you would run it through this Urchin, and then it would tabulate it in pretty pictures like this. That's all this data is just raw numbers just being spewed constantly. Every single person, every picture, every page, every place they came from, and every place they're going to is recorded on your website from your visitor's experience. And then it goes on beyond that. Because you see, what Google did was they bought Urchin. And they gave Urchin away the day they bought it. Now, it crashed that very same day, because they underestimated how much people wanted this. Google Analytics did not come back for the public for about a year until they retooled the whole thing. And Google Analytics is what we call a tagging tool. We put a piece of code on every one of our pages, and then that code creates raw data at Google. The code collects, like it'll collect a cookie, which is just a piece of code that is actually not stored at Google. It is stored on your computer. That's what a cookie is. It is not Google stealing the cookie. It is just Google putting a piece of code on your computer, and every time you go back to that website, the code fires and says, "Hey, is there a piece of is there data in this folder that we keep data on at your computer?" You know, they're recording information on your computer, and so then they hit it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, we see here they were there yesterday," or yeah.
So
what's your cookies slow down your computer? So how do you get rid of the cookies that you don't want to slow down?
So they slow down your actual like PC, not the website you're talking about. You can delete cookies. Well, like so here we're at. This is Chrome, and here I'm going to just start pushing buttons. Right now, you can remember where it is. You wouldn't have to remember where it is. Is it under settings? Okay. Settings, and then. Okay, advanced. They like to hide it. Delete privacy. Ah, yes. There it is. Clear browsing data. Every browser has this. And I think it's interesting that they put it under the advanced tab. Isn't that convenient?
Yeah, I know.
That's why I could never find it, because it's buried under there. You know, they make it complicated because they don't want you to get rid of this stuff. The data is valuable.
I've seen numerous advertisements for the private Wi-Fi where supposedly it encrypts it, and you can tell it, yeah, make the website think that I'm in China or Singapore or wherever.
Yes.
Do you have any ballpark on what percentage of the population uses that software and how it impacts this?
What percentage of like the U.S. population?
Yeah.
I'd say less than 1%.
Yeah, incredibly small. This is not the site.
It's common to use it in foreign countries where their user experience is governed. Like China, strictly China, not allowed to visit certain things. The government actually blocks you from doing certain things online. So a lot of times it's used for ways around that. I mean, it might be as many as much as 2 or 3% here, but I'd be very surprised if there was even that, honestly.
Yeah.
So when you get rid of cookies.
Well, you can customize what you want to get rid of. He's asking, if I get rid of cookies, am I getting rid of anything valuable? So you are going to get rid of, like you could potentially get rid of it remembering certain passwords. So if you do this all the time, you know, you'll have to remember your passwords. Search behavior. So if you have a Gmail account, you are getting, when you go to Google, if you're logged in under your Google account, your Gmail account, you are getting served a personalized result of search listings based on previous search history. And the reason they're doing that is because they would find that you maybe keep going to the same site over and over again. So if you go to, like for example, if I go to Google and type in news, okay, the first site that comes up for me is Google News. If you do it, chances are it will be CNN. I think most people get CNN. But I get Google News because I like to go to Google News. But it's because of the previous search behavior. It knows what news site I like to go to. Yeah.
Sage, isn't that the reason Google's getting hammered over in Europe? Is their security customers to theirs?
Yes.
Companies, they control it.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's going to happen here too, I think. I will say about like cookies and privacy and stuff like that. I hate even saying this, but it's almost not worth fighting and worrying about. And the reason I say that is because a few years ago, I don't know how long ago, 4 or 5 years ago, in the Euro region, they were like, hey, you know what, if you're going to put a cookie on my computer as I'm browsing the web, like your website is going to put a cookie on my computer so that I'm storing data for you on my computer, you got to let me know, right? And so if you go to any website, like any co.uk website right now, they're going to put like just a Google Analytics tracking thing or any sort of cookie at all on there. Now cookies can be good, right? I mean, cookies can store your login information. They remember that like you went to Amazon this morning and then you went back to Amazon tonight and it's still you. That's still my cookie. But what happened then is, so all these websites are like, crap, now I have to go in and put this stupid notification on my thing. My visitors know that I'm going to track them, and they're going to come back anyway, and they do. But the advertisers, people who use big data to market to us, they were like, I'm not going to lose my data because of this stupid new rule that you guys think you know how to control the internet. And what I can tell you is, like, Sage and I have talked to people who work in this industry, and very, very big companies do this. There's a big barrier of entry, cost-wise, to get involved in this. You know, at bare minimum here, the cheapest I've ever seen is $5,000 a month minimum spend. So people that are doing this are like big companies, right? And programmatic advertising, Sage is what goes here. But essentially what it is you get these networks, websites, right? And they all agree to share data with one another, right? Data about you, data about like, well, you know, for the past 3 weeks, you know, this person has been doing a lot of searching about this. They've been visiting these sites. Based off of this, we can tell they're probably about like, you know, 35 to 40, and they're a female, and they're in like this, you know, monetary bracket. And they do all of this, and then they sell ads, like tons and tons of ads based upon this, and they can do it without using a cookie. They've built systems that now don't need cookies to do this. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Google's doing all this. Google's going to get rid of the cookie, right? Like, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So, you want to talk about that a little?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
I'm personally a Windows guy, use Bing still, but I signed up for an account. I haven't used it yet with the Google Voice. Do they actually store the data on who you call and who calls you and what the duration is and so on and so forth?
So, what you have to understand about Google, all of these websites, Facebook, Twitter, Google, Yahoo, Bing, they are doing nothing altruistically. There is no, they are doing nothing, good, I'm glad you're laughing, right? They are doing not one single thing because it's to help you. They are only doing things, in Google's case, they are only doing things to serve ads. And so when I see the Google car, all I want to know is how are they going to serve me ads in that thing? Because they will. They will figure out a way, they will probably give me the car just so I will live in it, and they will serve me customized, personalized ads, and I will love it. It will drive me to my favorite coffee shop, show me my favorite movie, take me to my favorite doctor, and I will live happily ever after in my Google car. I will never leave. I will never leave. And so anytime, anything that they have. So if you use Gmail, you should know that if you are talking to your friend about your antidepressant pills, you're like, man, that citalopram just really rocks my world. You will see antidepressant ads in your Gmail. You will see it. Now, is Google making a dossier of you? Like, okay, so he needs happy pills, he likes to exercise, you know. Like, they're like, I don't think they're quite doing that yet, but they will. Other people are. What they're doing there, and mostly, is they are scanning the text of your email, not reading it, just scanning it and serving ads based on the words in your emails. But hell yeah, they're scanning them. They are scanning them. So
like in the terms and conditions, do you consent to them using the auto dialers and dialing you on Gmail Voice?
you can do what? Say that again?
Like, you know what I mean with the Google Voice thing?
Yeah.
Like, when you click on agree that, you know, none of us will agree to terms and conditions.
Yeah, we have no idea what we agree
On
to.
page 543, does this say that they can, we give consent for them to dial us using the automated dial?
Oh, to consent to dial you? I do not know about that. Probably we did. We probably did. We probably gave away all of it, but I don't know about that one. But yeah.
So does this also apply to just about anybody out there? For example, you know, I convert things from PDFs to Word to Excel. Do they keep that data that I convert on the web, or if you download like a CAN scanner, you scan your card, do they have access to this information too?
That's a tool that you're using.
Yeah, I think it's on
The tool is using where you're doing it.
Yeah, depends on the, just to repeat, depends on the tool you're using and where you're doing it. But, so, I would say that it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I mean, all these things are free. How do they make their money?
Yeah. Most of these people are making it through ad revenue.
Yeah, but if they're not making it through ad revenue, which some aren't,
Yeah.
then they gotta be making it some other way, like taking your data and using it.
Probably selling your data.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And that's part of the big data.
Yeah.
That's where the big data comes in.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah.
So this programmatic advertisement is a pretty interesting thing. So let's say you're into fly fishing. You're a 55-year-old male in east of Cleveland. You like to fly fish up there in the Rocky River area or wherever, and they'll know that because what's happening is these sites are part of a network. So you know how I told you Google Analytics, you put a piece of code on your website? Well, there's a lot of people that encourage you to put a piece of code on your website. And so if you go to my website and we go to your website, you go to your website and your website, there are places that are taking that and building a complete registry of you. Okay? Now, that's sort of freaky, but whatever, blah, 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 blah. Now, what we're doing is we are taking Axiom data. We are taking offline data. So if you're a big marketer, a big company, you can buy data to tell you about any locality in the country. So let's say you're going to put a gym, you're going to open a gym in a certain neighborhood. It will tell you their affluence, their ethnicity, male, how many are married, what they like to do, what they like to eat, where they like to shop, and they are taking that data and they're jamming it into Facebook. So, and for everybody that advertises in Facebook has that ability to take really high-end data that you could not have bought as a small business. Facebook is basically giving it to you and cross-promoting it with everything they know about you online. The data just keeps compounding and compounding and compounding. And that's why I believe that information wants to be free. Everything wants to know about you and your privacy. Yeah.
Even in the 60s, when people were submitting different things, coupons or what have you, or sending in things from catalogs, there was coding that was going on and being recorded by the zip code, whatever piece of information. If you really don't want to get in and have any of this stuff, don't use the computer, don't use the internet.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's right.
Get off the bridge.
Well, I was saying, your cell phone tracks everywhere you go, correct?
Everywhere.
Don't you let that happen every time? You don't have to worry about it.
There's a guy that works in our office. He was telling this story that he was taking his son to soccer practice and he missed the exit, and his wife called him and said, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I missed the exit." "I can't believe you missed the exit. He's going to be late." She was watching him from home. She knew that he had missed the exit. So I mean, this is happening all over the place. Everybody, yeah, did you have one?
If you turn your location off on your phone settings,
Yeah.
they still keep track of it based on, because it's still finding the closest cell tower. So how much does that help you if you want to, not have all your data out?
Yeah, I believe that there is sincere value in understanding how to protect your data. I feel kind of comfortable sharing my data because I feel like if I did want to go rogue I know enough that I could do it, I think. And the first thing would be I would pull all the money I could out of my bank, and I would throw away all my cell phones, never ever go on social media again. Like, they will find you. You know, it doesn't matter you start out with somebody else, they'll just put it together.
Yep.
You know, and the thing that I would use at home is Tor. Tor is a very useful browser for protecting your location and your identity. Everybody should know that this exists. This is oftentimes used for what they call the deep web or the dark web, a lot of like weird, crazy crap that goes on. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can just use it when you don't want to be tracked anymore. And you should know how to do that. You should know how that when you're tired of being tracked, you know, or you're typing in, so how do I get a divorce in Ohio? You know, you're not quite ready to make that announcement? Use Tor. Yeah.
I don't even remember the name of it. I know Google sometimes they searches you can do a private or something like that.
Incognito.
I'm assuming that's probably alive on Google.
It is true on your computer. All browsers have what we call an incognito window, meaning that your search history, all of your navigation history is not recorded on your browser.
But they know what computer you have, so they know.
Your ISP has it all.
Yeah.
So Tor starts the process of masking that. So it's actually spinning you through different proxies and that sort of thing. So like if I go...
Is Tor fee-based?
No, free. Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to this site called CMO Sage. It's a little site you have. You can get unlimited messaging consulting. Okay? And let's see if I can show you. It might not come up because I'm on this computer. We'll see. So what we're looking at here is a tool called Clicky. And the interesting thing about Clicky is that it shows you who is on your site at any given time. So what you'll see here is if you look at these, if you look at this, you'll see an IP address. You will see a location, which is Akron, Ohio. You'll see the kind of device, which is mobile, and you'll see the browser, which is Safari. So this becomes interesting, especially if you're doing,
Would you share the URL of that?
Yeah, just Clicky. It's CLICKY.com. And this is very interesting, especially if you're doing live types of marketing. Like let's say you're doing a radio spot, or you're even doing social media. Like let's say you're doing some sort of promotion on social media where you're giving away something, and you want to watch how many people come into your site through Twitter or Facebook or that type of thing. So that becomes interesting. And I can also tag these people because Clicky puts a cookie on their machine, and if they come back, and I have tagged them that I know who they are, it will say, hey, Greg Haberman is coming back to your site. And I'll know it. And then what becomes interesting is I can use a tool, I can use a chat tool. This is called OLARK, OLARK.com. And if you want to try it, just go to if you go over your screen, go to any device you have, go to cmosage.com, and I'll see you come up. I'll see you in the search result, and if I know it's Greg, I can just be like, hey Greg, how's it going, man? You know, so I can track that kind of behavior. It's caller ID, yeah, that's good for your website. That's exactly right. And I can see who is, what pages they are moving through and so forth. So, and these are all, well, I think Clicky costs $10 a month, I think. But OLARK is free. But these are all tools that are available to anyone. This is all available to you, okay? So, but these are, and you can do pretty interesting things about them. with this. But the tool that most people are using is Google Analytics. Okay? And one of the great things about Google Analytics, for Google especially, is that most websites are using Google Analytics. And so you talk about a comprehensive network. The amount of data that Google knows about all of us is unbelievable because we have all gladly tagged every single page of all our websites with Google code. Ah, somebody's there. Let's say here.
Somebody came to this night?
It was either Clicky or, let's see here. Oh yeah, well it says right here, on demand. So here we have this person, okay? So it's 7:37, somebody's here right now, and I can tell you that it says Brunswick, Ohio. So anybody here from Brunswick? You might be using your cell phone, like data plan perhaps. You can see here that it's on a mobile device. Let me see if I can find out more. Okay, so here, so we can see, wait a second, it's bigger for you. Okay, so yeah, we can see that they're from Brunswick. They're using Verizon Wireless. They're on Safari. They have Apple iPhone. They're using the 320 by 480. So I'm guessing iPhone 4 probably. So, you know, and then I can see here they have one action. And
Right here.
Here it is. Oh, is that you? Brilliant. Brilliant.
Ohio, but that's interesting.
Yeah, that is
I wanted to
interesting.
see what you found.
Now, what's your name?
Carla.
Carla, perfect. So what I will do here is I will write in Carla. So then I will hit submit. And now, anytime Carla comes back to my website, I will know that it's Carla. Now, so let's see here. Let me go to my spy. What I'm using is the spy tool here. Okay. So there it is. So now you can see Carla. So now instead of a number, I get Carla. In fact, I can even do Carla's iPhone. Now, Carla, if you would, so now also, I can see over here that I think this is you too. Galloway, Ohio, maybe. Could be you. I don't know. But it says no email or phone given because this is the first time. But if, I would think, let me see if this is you. Okay. So let me see if that comes up on your phone.
Yeah, it does.
Are we talking?
Why would it say Galloway, Ohio?
Why would you get two separate entries?
I don't know. See, it's not perfect yet. See? We still have ways to go. Would you like to write back to me?
Sure.
Okay, say something nice. Don't say anything crazy. Like, what the hell? What is this? Okay. So here, so now, and you'll notice that I started the conversation with Carla. She did not start with me. I started it with her. There we go.
Sorry, there's a typo.
That's okay. Go, Hudson. What was that?
Explorer.
Explorer, I love it. Okay. So it says, yeah, I'm talking to, so in here you can see, it says, oops, hold on. It says, yeah, that she's looking at CMO Sage and to see additional options, type help. So, you know, so here, but now I can do this. So I can say, Carla. And then, I don't know, and I can say, now this is our first conversation. So that remembering visitor name is Carla. So you see, now I'm building a relationship digitally with Carla, you know? So I will see her on Clicky. Yes, you have a question?
Now, if she, like, say she was using her cellular service for Wi-Fi and then she turned that off and she used the library Wi-Fi, would you still know that it was her?
I would, because it's her phone. So it might say that she's from a different location. Okay. But yeah, but that's the beauty of cookies, is that it's not me that's storing it, it's you that's storing it. And that's how I get to know you, yeah.
Would you be able to use this system, let's say you had a visitor come to the website, we go in, dump out, where you can keep track of that person's address, or IT basically say, hey, we saw you visit our website, blah, blah, blah.
Sure, 100%. It's actually a fairly common thing in e-commerce stores. So like, yeah, there's a chat capability, or you can even go so far as to like, you know, a lot of times when you are shopping online, you know, the first thing that they do after they hook you in with whatever you're going to buy, the first thing they do is like, all right, well, how about you open an account so we can get all your information and know where to ship your stuff, and you're giving them that data, right? But then a lot of times when you watch people go through what we call like the funnel, like the shopping funnel online, is you'll see that there's a point, people will fall off. They disappear. They'll go somewhere else. They didn't click buy. You know, they were going to give you their email address, that kind of stuff, but they didn't go through with the process. Maybe they got a credit card at home, maybe they wanted to go shop around some more, maybe they're just not quite ready to buy, but you can take that information and you can just send them like a follow-up email with a coupon attached. You can, if you're doing things through Google AdWords, like if you're doing pay-per-click advertising, Google and Facebook both, there's a lot of different methods will allow you to do what's called retargeting. So I'm sure you guys have all seen this. Gone and looked at something on a website and then you haven't bought it at all, but then you go over to Facebook and oh my God, it's right there. And it's like freaky, right? Well, you all have the capability of doing that through Google, okay? And it's called remarketing, but you can do that with products that like people didn't buy. You can be like, hey, why don't you show this product to this person 3 times a day for the next week until they can get back to your store and buy it, you know? And it seems creepy, and I've had clients come and say, I don't really want to do that, but I've also been on the flip side, where I've had people come to me and be like, hey Greg, I was at this website the other day, and I read this article, and then I just started seeing, I don't know why, but I just started seeing a website pop up like everywhere. And I was like, it's a really cool website. And then, like today, it's not, I don't see them anymore. They're not popping up all over the place. And that's what, and I can't remember what they were called. I was going to go back, and now I don't know how to find them. Why did this happen? And so, like, people interact with the internet. I guess that was one of my biggest flaws when I got into this industry, was that I mistakenly, and you should know this is business owner, I mistakenly thought everybody searched, everybody used the internet the same way I did. I mean, because I do. I mean, we all do it, right? Everybody here has looked up something on Amazon.com? Yeah? Yeah? Y'all know what that is, right? So, there's only one way to do that, right? No, there's a million different ways to do it. There's a million different ways. Like, it drives me nuts if I go to his desk during the day and he's working on something and he's like, I'm going to go look it up in Google. The way he types things into Google drives me nuts. It's like that, because I'm like, that's not what I would type into Google, and I'm sure that I would get the results that I'm looking for. But no, he finds what he's looking for. Sort of. And so I think that's a very common thing from a business owner or entrepreneur's perspective. I've had so many people come to me over the years and be like, well, I'm not doing that because you know nobody does that. Like, that's just stupid. So we're not doing that. That's off the table. I don't do that. Nobody else is doing that. I mean, I hear it all the time. And so you have to learn that even if you have like a personal aversion to this, or you think that you know how people are doing things online, that you have to use the data. The data will guide you as to what people are doing and how to best use it.
Right? I think that's totally right. And I think sometimes what's even more important than the data is the question you ask about the data before you even get to it. You have to go in knowing what you want. Because if you come over to any of these tools and you just start bouncing around, you will be inundated. And you will say, oh, interesting, a lot. And you will just walk away. You will just leave. You'll go, that was interesting. And then you'll do nothing. And that's okay if you're having fun, you're enjoying watching people, you're watching, move around your site, you're enjoying that, you just go, you have fun. But most of the time, most of us don't think this is the most fun we could all have. And so if that is you, then what you need to say is, before you even open your computer, is you must say to yourself, what do I want to know? What do I want to know? And it's okay if you don't know the answer. But just start there. Because then if you say, well, okay, Sage told me to say, what do I want to know? Got it. I don't know. I don't know what I want to know. And then I'll say, well, tell me what you're doing. Well, not much. I'm waiting for the phone to ring. Okay, that's good. Did you go to a Hudson Library event? Yeah, did that. Did you go to a chamber event? Yeah, I went to the chamber. Yeah, the Kiwanis. And now, that's your marketing. Believe it or not, you are marketing right now. It counts. Good job. You're doing it. It counts. You are out here marketing. Okay? And so, what you can do is, you've got to say, what am I doing for my marketing? And if you're honestly like, well, I'm pretty much waiting for the phone to ring, I would encourage you to get another thing. What else could you do? A lot of times say, well, my best customers come from referrals. Every small business owner I've ever met said, my best customers come from referrals, which is awesome. So there you go. You like that? You like referrals? Why don't you make a referral plan? A refer a friend plan? And then you know what you could do? You could go to your clients and you could be like, hey, I got this web page that has a form on it, and if you tell your friends to go here, because these people are awesome, you should go. They will give you 10% off your first order, and I'll get 10% off too. You see? All you have to do is go to this form and say, who referred you? And you'll be like, Bob Smith referred me. How? Now you know Bob Smith is a good referral. Okay? Now, you might not need Google Analytics for that. Okay? You might not need that. I mean, you could just have a phone number. If they'll just say, hey, look, if like with a lawn care company, you don't want to fill out a form, fine. Just when you call, tell them Bob Smith sent you. And you'll get 10% off. Say, Bob Smith sent you, and I want my 10% off. And then he'll get 10%, and I'll get 10%. And everybody will win. Okay? That is perfect metrics. If you can do this without all these tools, that counts. I think sometimes people get so caught up, they're like, well, I have Google Analytics, it must be Google Analytics. Whatever I'm looking for, which I don't know what it is. Yeah.
What's not having gone through it very much, there's people sort of doing it for us, and I said, oh, look at it. What information would you say an average business can pull out? What would you say are the most useful bits of information you can make out of that?
Perfect. Perfect question. So, let me ask you the second question. First question is, what information do I want to know? Which is sort of the question, right? What do I want to know? But I'm going to ask you, tell me some things that you're doing right now for your marketing.
For marketing?
Yeah.
Well, actually, our website's going to be redesigned here. We'll leave the data to we got it out there. We've got blogs that are going on LinkedIn about what we do. We have a white paper out there to direct people to it. We've got some pretty good ideas that are going on. We have actually emails that we're calling Twitter emails, which is a short line that directs them back to the website.
On Twitter or actually email?
We're going to actually email because different businesses, CEOs and that they're going to. So a lot of those different things.
So you're doing awesome stuff.
It'd be fun to sort of see what it means out here in the analytics.
Yeah.
What can I pull from there?
Brilliant. I'm going to show you. But what I'm going to say is your answers are different than maybe his answers because you're doing different things. Yeah. But I'm going to show you, yeah.
Maybe I'm asking this too quickly. On this, does it tell you like what ones are human, what ones are bots, or whatever they call that thing?
Big problem, bots. Big problem. We are seeing more and more bots. I just read a stat. Did you see this? Some people suspect that 30% of our traffic is bots. It's ridiculous. They have nothing better to do than bots than control my website. So yeah, anyways, they know some, and they do try and filter them. But like, for example, here, I'm going to show you your question, and I'm going right back to you. So if you go to, in here there's something called acquisition. It's a fancy word from, where did people come from? Okay? And if you go to referrals, and you go down here, look at these. Let me make this a little bigger for you. Yeah, right? Good, okay. So, what they're saying here is, buttonsforwebsite.com. Pretty good referral for me. Yeah. GoogleSucks.com. CD Trends. Some of these are legit, and some of them aren't legit. Okay? And you'll start seeing them, and I don't know if you remember some of the other ones offhand, but there's like, I'm seeing more and more referrals from weird places. And you can actually go into the administrative tool in here and say, don't show people that come from here. Okay? But ultimately, I'm going to say, don't sweat it. It doesn't matter. Because here's the deep, dark, crazy secret. These numbers aren't accurate because of what you're saying. You cannot bet the farm on these numbers. You know, if you were able to like somehow like be like, okay, there's Google Analytics, and then I'm going to go audit it with God, because God, you know, is the only guy that really knows. I want to know how many people really came. Usually you're way off. Way off. God would be like, Google Analytics sucks. I should launch my own thing. So anyway, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because usually the suckiness stays consistent. It's sucky in July, it's sucky in August, it's sucky in September, and so then it's good. Yeah.
So Sage, is captcha code not that really standard joke?
Well, a captcha code, like if you're doing a form, and it's like, put these crazy letters in there and hit submit. You know, it's an interesting perspective because when you start marketing, you will get spam. You will get it. Just get used to it. One of the things I hate the most is knowing that a telemarketer clicked on my paid search ad to get my phone number. This is so bad. Because I paid, he clicked on my paid ad to get my phone number so he can sell me crap? Oh, driving me nuts. So, yeah. So I think it's just that I recommend no captcha code because the people that get caught up in it are people like me. And you will lose leads. 100% guaranteed if you make people jump through any hoops, even like a low hoop, like just a little, 8-inch walkover, somebody won't do it. They're like, screw that. I'm not walking over things. I don't like walking over things. They will go someplace else. Yes.
If Google Analytics is not even, let's say, 70% correct analytics, how do you know what you have implemented is working?
All right. You want to answer that one?
Sure.
All right.
I'd say it's more like 90 to 95% accurate, first of all. That varies, of course. But take these numbers in aggregate. If you're just looking at stuff in general, right? Like a lot of this stuff is like, you look at their averages, right? A lot of these numbers are averages in here. And so when you see an average number and then you compare two individual points, like you can have, one that comes up very often is time spent on site, okay? And so two people that come to your website, one person comes, they see it, they throw up in their mouth a little bit, and then they leave, right? They're not reading this, they're like, get this is horrible. And
Another person sees it and is like, this is the most brilliant thing ever. And they stay for 10 minutes. What's your average time on site? 5 minutes. Nobody stayed on your site for 5 minutes. One person stayed for 10, one person did the other. So when you look at this data like this, it's important to kind of keep these things in mind. And so to get more to your point about the question, you can tag things, okay? One of the ways you can, first of all, your website can create cookies for people, so you can do this if you're technologically advanced enough. Second of all, you can pass things. Like, let's say you launch a campaign, right? And your campaign is to sell more of your bags. And we're just going to keep it super simple, right? And you're going to send out an email. So you have like a list of like 200 people or 1,000 people that you're going to send this email to. And inside your email, you're going to, of course, link to your website, your bag launch. You're going to take out a Facebook ad, and you're going to also take out an ad in the newspaper, okay? Now, you can do a few things. In your email and your Facebook, you can take the ad itself and put a little snippet of code on the end of the URL and this Google campaign code, and it tells you your source, the medium, like where they came from. Was it from an ad or was it from, organic email, that sort of stuff. And you can label it with your campaign name. And there's all these different just sort of appendages that you can put on the URL. And so then when someone clicks on it, you'll know that someone clicked on it through an email. And then they came in and they went to your website, and you can see what they did. And same thing for your Facebook ad. One of the newspaper might be a little trickier because you're not going to give them some huge, weird URL that they need to go type in. No one's going to do that. So you could use that same URL and use like a bit.ly or a URL shortener to create a nice little campaign URL for yourself. And then bit.ly has stats that you can go back and look and see how many people clicked, how many people shared, that sort of stuff. And then it'll also take your long URL and pass that through Google Analytics, so that data gets captured over here. And it's in the campaigns tab on the side. So that's one way. If you're doing something specific, you can be like, okay, well, was this successful? If you're doing AdWords, so if you're using Google AdWords at all, Google AdWords automatically tags this information and it flows right into the AdWords section over here in Google Analytics. And so you can see, like, on a keyword by keyword basis, how much did it cost? Did these people buy my products? What keywords did they type in to get here? And that gives you a better understanding of, like, yes, this is working. You can also set up goals in Google Analytics, and a goal is, it can get kind of complex, but it can very much just be like, did this person fill out my form? Did they order what they were supposed to order off my website? What did they do, right? And so you can set up goals in Google Analytics, and then it'll give you a breakdown. Who did what? Where did they come from? How much did this cost? And add all of that into it. Yeah.
Greg, you can create a cheat sheet, so to speak, so that I heard what Sid said earlier about what it is that you're looking for, or what questions you have, just in terms of kind of the high level stepping down to the data. You usually use a generalized approach.
Well, I can tell you this. I would say that unfortunately we don't. But it's not that we wouldn't do it. But there's so much data and it is so personalized that it becomes, like, if I could just say, do these 5 things. All of you in this room do these 5 things. But they don't, because, see, he's got a blog and an email, and you're on LinkedIn, and you're on Facebook, and you're doing a white paper, and you have a chat, and you have a blog, and you're, and so it's like learning math. I got a fourth grader, right? And the idea is, if you understand the concept, like Okay, this is how I find the circumference of a circle. This is how I find the radius of a circle. This is how I find the, you know, I don't know, the something of a triangle. You understand that you can apply the equation. That being said, we have a lot of resources available to you. So we've got that free show every Thursday at 3:50. You can come and be like, hey, I need to know how to do this. And we will tell you. We also, so the newest thing we have is the CMO Sage, which is this unlimited messaging service. So it's like having us on your text speed dial. Yes.
Sage, is it? You guys have iTunes or something?
Well, so we do a weekly, yes. So the Sage, the tools.tv is free for everyone. You just go to tools.tv and you can see all of our past shows. So that's free. This is a paid service. Then we also have something called the SageRock system, where we do weekly classes, and then we do weekly office hours. So there's all kinds of things. But and then we have a Facebook group that is free, and we have a lot of stuff. So what I would recommend, if you really, if you are interested in this stuff, just come to one of our sites and sign up for our newsletter. Because I also wanted to tell you I have a free meetup at our office on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. It's actually going on this week. I'm just not going to be there. So 9 a.m., 15 Broad Street in Akron, Ohio, totally free. You just come. It's awesome because you can ask any questions you want. So, and the reason we do this is because this is daunting. This is crazyville, what's going on here. And as business owners, it becomes very difficult for you to make heads or tails of all this stuff while you're all actually trying to run a business. You're trying to invent stuff, And so that's what we're here for, is to be your guide, is to help you just be like, hey, do these things. So, to your point, if we go to, so let's say you've got email, right? And, okay, so I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to back it out just a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I will tell you is the number by itself means nothing. If you have 100,000 visitors, I don't know if that's good enough. If I had 100,000 visitors in a month, that would be awesome. If I was Britney Spears, I would probably be thinking about ending it all. Because that was our Britney Spears numbers. It's 100,000 visitors before lunch for her. So what I can tell you is your question.
Yeah. Now, okay, say we go onto that site and we go, oh, I'm averaging, well, first of all, say you never sold online, and then on your website you transferred that so you could actually sell your product. And you wanted to know, okay, I'm getting X number of hits per month on average. Is that good or bad for my industry? Is there another website that we can go, okay, you sell candy bars, for every 100 hits, you should have 1 sale or 90 sales?
Yeah.
I don't know what 1 sale would be that.
It's a candy bar. Oh, candy bar. A cold candy bar.
Maybe a Willy Wonka candy bar.
Yeah. Okay, one candy bar, not good.
There is a tool, I believe, if you want to buy it, I believe it gets pretty costly now. There's a tool called SpyFu, which can give you kind of like information about what your competitors are doing. So like,
how do you spell that?
Spy, S-P-Y, and then Fu, F-U.com. It used to be a reasonable price, and now I believe it's only a few $100s a month. But it will give you some information about what your competitors are spending their money on, how much they're spending on like Google AdWords. And
an idea of like what some of the keywords they have are, what their ad copy is. So there's that kind of information.
And I'll usually run those for anybody that's a client.
We have access, so if you ever just want to do like a one-off thing.
Yeah, come to the show and ask.
Yeah, we can do that.
That'd be awesome.
That would be interesting. They might do it.
You should ask.
You should ask. I mean, I don't know.
Well, they should get a SageRock system membership.
Okay, see? Anyway, so there's that. I think there's a free tool that I would advise that you kind of start with. I don't think anybody is going to tell you that one candy bar is, well, I'll tell you one candy bar is bad. There's nobody online.
If you've never sold a candy bar before, though, and you sell one, that rocks.
Happy five.
That's the best candy bar ever. The first one. I had my first check ever. Brad Ruff, $349 he paid me. I can't believe it. Not a candy bar. Bought something from me.
So I don't think anybody out there is going to give you that information, because as a business owner, you need to know for yourself what's good, right? Like you need to know, like, how many of these do I need to sell? What is my margin on this? Like, even though the tools here are way more sophisticated than we've ever had before, other business is the same, you know? And so that's where you get, like, you could come at that and be like, all right, how many of these candy bars did I sell online this month, right? I spent X amount of dollars to sell these candy bars. Did I sell them? And did I make money or lose money off this? And these tools can do that. But you always want to sell more, right? I mean, I've never had a business owner come to me and be like, I don't want to sell anymore.
Unless it gets too expensive.
Okay. If it's unprofitable, yes. But like everybody wants.
Or it's a lost leader.
Right.
Or you give away the candy bar but sell them the soda pop.
Right?
Something like that.
There is a tool inside of Google AdWords. So if you sign up for Google AdWords and you don't give them your credit card, you won't be using the platform, right? You won't be serving any ads, but it unlocks some tools in there that you can use as an advertiser. And they do that because they want you to come in and use their tool, right? They want you to spend money. And so there's a key phrase research tool inside of there. Again, it gives you kind of average numbers, but you can be like, I sell candy bars. So you can type in candy bars, and it'll tell you month by month how many people in what location are searching on candy bars. And then it'll also show you like related phrases like Hershey's candy bars, Willy Wonka chocolate bars. And it'll show you how many people are searching on those every month. And that's free. And so then you kind of get some sort of an idea, right? You're like, okay, well, in my region, maybe there's 1,000 people a month that are searching on candy bars. I want them to come and buy their candy bars from me online, right? So then you're like, then the question creates itself. Like, how do I get them to do that?
Yeah.
You know? And then you're like, well, what tools do I have available? You know, how can I make this work? How much money do I have to make this happen? And the questions, once you get the big picture, they just start coming naturally. You know, and it's finding the answers. It can sometimes be a little difficult, but I don't know, that's why we're here and why these tools exist.
Yeah. A lot of times people will say, well, my people aren't on Facebook. But you know what? That doesn't matter. I don't know that they're not on Facebook. I kind of don't believe it. But it doesn't matter. If you say, look, I'm willing to spend $30 a good lead, then who cares where your clients are? If they're on Pinterest, that's cool. If they're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Tumblr, Google, Bing, Yahoo, it doesn't matter because the metric is $30. And you don't have to like imagine where they're maybe going to come from. It doesn't matter where they are. If they're watching porn, then go there and serve some ads to them. Who cares? As long as it's $30 or less, then you're good. So, it's okay. Porn's okay. Anyways, what's that? Oh, the money. Oh, yeah. 30 is actually good. Okay, you see this? Look at this. Is this good or bad? Looks, this line here. Bad? Looks bad, doesn't it? Bad. Greg, remember you looked at that, you're like, holy crap, what's happening? Chaos, but the end of the world. Right? But don't panic when you see things like this. Most people don't see things like this. I mean, you might feel your blood pressure, your heart beating. So then you go down here. Now, these are the places, the kind of places that are referring traffic. Direct is typically somebody that has typed in your name, bookmarked you, or actually Google doesn't know where the hell they came from. They're like, just direct, you came from like, don't worry. I see more and more of that happen. Organic search is like if somebody searched in Google organic and did not click on a paid listing. Okay, now paid, they came from a free listing in Google. Referral is anything that is actually none of these, of anything else. It's like somebody, bobburgers.com, SEO, topseo.com. It's anything that is not a search engine, a social media platform, email, or a place they don't know where they came from.
So like they're just looking for your name because they know who you are.
In this case, it's actually somebody that has probably referred you. Like let's say I do an article about you on my blog, and I put a link, and somebody goes from SageRock to your website. That would fall in right here. Okay? Social is social, right? Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that. Then email. Email is like email. Generic paid search. These are some paid ads. Other, they're like, I don't know where, and then display is like a banner ad. Okay? Now, watch what happens. These numbers mean nothing. They're probably good for you, bad for you. I don't know. I honestly don't remember if they're good or bad for me. So the way I'm going to determine that is I'm going to the top of the search page and I'm going to compare the numbers. I'm going to compare the numbers to this little doodad down here. I can pick a custom comparison, like I can compare, this is a month, so I got 30 days, March 20th, April 19th. I can compare it to the previous period, which is just the 30 days prior, or I can compare it to the year before. It depends on what I'm looking at. Now, my problem is this clip. What the heck happened here? Am I going out of business, or is it something else? So in this case, I'm going to look at just the month before, because this clip just happened. Okay?
A lot of non-mobile friendly people are going to see that kind of trend for it.
That could be. That's right. So I'm going to compare the previous period. Okay, so now I'm doing March 20th to April 19th, comparing to February 17th to March 19th. Same number of days. Now, the period we were looking at before is still in blue. February to March is in orange. See? Bigger. Not as good. Now, if I come down here, here tells the major story. I lost 66% of my direct traffic. And I'm going to tell you, you don't know the history of this, but what I will tell you is this is a relief. Because what was happening was I was getting hammered by Internet Explorer 7. That's an old browser. Internet Explorer 7 traffic pounding my site constantly from a remarketing network. And I couldn't get them to stop. I kept emailing and emailing, like, it's not me, it's not me. And I know it was them, because they at first, a few months ago, had said it was them. And then I came back and I said, hey, you fixed it, but now it's back. And they're like, no, that's not my traffic anymore. They fixed it. They fixed it. So what I'm telling you here is, this is okay. It's all right. We don't need to be panicked.
That was the bubble in the Sage?
It was bots. It was just these bots that were hitting me. And I think it was doing something to inflate numbers in the network, in the remarketing network, to do something. I don't know why it was happening, but I know it was them because they had told me it was before. And it was the same identical traffic. I was able to see what kind of browser they were on, what operating system. They were all the same. I knew it was the same people. And I've just been living with it. And then finally disappeared. Now, my organic is down a little bit, 10%, which is not the greatest, but it's not the clip that was this, down 53%, okay? So that's the interesting thing about numbers, is that they can tell different stories. So if you go back to your story here, okay, and what we can do here is, let's say, for example, we want to know about email. So we're big believers in email. I don't like email. I wish email marketing did not exist. Hate it. Don't want to tell you that it works, but it works. Okay? I also don't like LinkedIn, but it can work. Oh, sometimes. It doesn't matter what I like or don't like. It doesn't matter what you like or don't like. If your customers are there, you're there. That's it. That's all there is. You're a marketer now. So, at any rate, here, if you can see here, that month over month, I got 47% more traffic on my email list, from my email list. Awesome! So email is good. Good email. Do more of that. And then what I can do is, I can dig into that, and I can say, oh, well, that's interesting. What happened? And I can click on this, and then I can do a secondary dimension, which would maybe be like landing page. Let's see where they go. So here you go. System live, okay? That's actually the tools show, the tools.tv. Oh, no, it's not. Actually, that's not. I take it back. That's our Wednesday show, okay? Now here, members, free courses access. This is down a little bit. You see, but then I set some links to like different categories of content. Let me see where people are going. But yeah, I can go through here and I can see what pages people are coming to from my newsletter. I can also see how many people have downloaded my white paper. So that's what I've watched. You can see that for sure. So let's do this. And that's an interesting metric. So that usually is under, where is it? Oh, no. I know they're changing it constantly. Behavior. Okay, here we go. So there is a handy number that I like. So you have all these fancy words up here. You have page views, unique page views, average time on page, entrance, bounce rate, and then percentage that exited from that page. So here's the deal. Page views is the number of times people have looked at that page. Unique page views is the number of different people that have looked at that page. Okay? So here you can see the total number of page views here was 3,804. Then the unique ones were 3,724. So most of them they're only looking at the home page at the same time. Now, look at here. Average time on the page, 4 minutes. 4 minutes. And you know what's cool? Up here you can see your averages. My site average is 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Okay? So you can be like, hey, that's double the site average. Which, it could be good. You know? Like, it's a hint. It could be good, it could be bad. It depends. If you're confusing the hell out of them and they're just like staring cross-eyed at your home page, then maybe not. You're like, yeah, you're just confusing them, Sage. Which actually, if you go to my homepage, you will see that. Yeah.
Sage, you mentioned you have a white paper. Is that
oh, to see the white paper? Well, let me show you in here. Okay. So, what I can tell you is that there are events. Now, in the real world, an event is a party, it's a soiree, it's something you go to and have a drink, a beverage, something to eat. when you're a geek technology guy, an event is something that happens on a computer or somewhere in like a data center. So I think it's very amusing to me that they call these events. Oh, an event just happened. So what I can tell you is that here, through tagging, I can see people that have filled out a form, pressed a button, downloaded a white paper, looked at a video. I've tagged these different events, things that are not a page. Typically with Google Analytics, the standard Google Analytics is only tracking if somebody opens a page. That's all it's tracking because it fires that code we were talking about, remember? So if you're doing something that you can't put code on, like downloading a white paper, you can add event tracking to the URL. So like when you're linking to it, you can say, hey, you put this code on it. We have an event tracking. If you do a Google search for Google event tracking tool, you'll see a tool where it just guides you on how to do this. But, so what I can tell you here is that these are the general events. And this event interests me the most because this is something that I never promote. And it is our Google event tracking tool, okay? So we have a tool, if you Google it, if you Google, Google event tracking tool, and I'll watch it now come up, of course, there I am. So here, we have this silly little tool that I think I outsourced to somebody, I think it maybe cost me 30 bucks. And what you do is you put your URL of your page or your PDF or whatever. You tell it the kind of category. You can put anything you want in here, the kind of action like the click or download. They'll label it so you can label it so you know what it is. And then you click generate URL. When you fire that, you press that generate URL button that I just pushed there. That I have made as an event. Okay? So you can see here that I'm up about 44%. And that tells me that if I promoted this, I could probably get more people to use it. It gives me a clue. It gives me a clue of what's going on. So what I can tell you is this, that if you ask the right question, just say, you told me those things, right? You said, I have email, I have a white paper, I have a this, I'm doing paid search. Then you don't have to know how to do it. Just work until you find somebody that will tell you how to do it, because it is trackable. That's the good news of all of this as a marketer. It is all trackable. If you are doing something, if you're spending time or money, you should track it, because anything that is tracked improves. Anything. And that is ultimately what you want to do. You don't have to live in a world anymore where you just put an ad in the newspaper or you put an ad in the yellow pages and you're like, well, I don't know. I just do that every year and then you're done with it. We don't live there anymore. You can track everything, and you should, because now you can buy and work responsibly and in an educated way in ways that you could never do before. And so I think ultimately this level of information availability does wonders for everyone. It helps consumers find things that they really want. They're not getting hit with crap that is not necessary for them. And it is making you a more efficient marketer, which makes you spend less money, which ultimately makes your services and products more affordable to your visitors. That is the story of big data and Google Analytics. Do you agree?
Sure. Before you get to go, I guess, one point. Any books that you recommend
What would you like to know about? All of this? This? Do you like the books that you recommended in the beginning? Are they good?
It's probably a little big, big-minded for this.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like that.
Oh, the checklist. Yeah. There is a good book. There's a guy in Canton, Stoney the Guider.
We just had him here.
It's here, yeah. Right.
It's here, probably.
Well, did you get his book?
The library has it.
Good. Yeah. This is a good book. Like, when he came out with it, I'm like, oh, this is sort of silly sounding, but it's amazing. Like, he really does a wonderful job of telling you what you should be looking for on all phases of your marketing.
And if you didn't come to his program here, you can look it up on our website and on our YouTube channel.
And, hey, I always have 20 of these, but we do have an email series called Learn Facebook Marketing in 15 minutes a week. Okay? So, it's all free. And so, you are welcome to, it has the URL here, and, yeah, I only have 20, but I can give you more if you want. Oh, you want one? Okay, awesome. You guys are awesome. Hudson Library rocks. Thank you all so much. Thank you.